keep having sex. There's no sex in heaven, and you can't delegate this. And it's pleasurable, really. So why don't you put yourself in there and do the best for it for your spouse?
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today on this channel we have something really exciting for everybody. It's a topic, in short, a controversial topic, which is important for every single individual on the planet Earth, and it is all about sex. Yes, you heard me, sex. Okay, so with me I have two special individuals, a lovely couple, and they are into the marriage ministry. So with me here I have Dr. and Mrs. Okonkwo, also known as Ngee and Rich.
Hi everyone, I'm Ngee and my husband.
I'm Rich.
Okay,
Welcome.
So the Run an NGO Keeping Marriage Alive initiative. Yes, you heard me right. You need to keep your marriage alive. You have to put effort in it being alive. So we're going to talk about sex. Okay. So first of all, I'd like them to define sex.
Okay, sex. Sex is simply the greatest pleasure God gave us as a gift. It's the covenant of marriage, the only place where the body, the soul, the spirit all come together and will become one. And if you ask me personally, I would say it's a touch of heaven.
It's so unique that you can't delegate it, you know.
Yes, so
We should say, ordinarily we should say the single should not part, but we know they've already been involved in it. So they better
but say no.
They better listen out. And
No
know.
sex before marriage.
Yeah.
By the way, ma'am, there was no sex before marriage for two of us.
That's true, very true.
And it's really
She
healthy.
curtailed me.
Okay, so guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel Keeping Marriage Alive Initiative, Nneamakadotcom. Like, share, comment, and if you want to see any questions concerning this particular topic, drop it in the comment section and we'll look and review it. Thank you. Okay, so we're moving forward. So why do you think that sex is a matter people shy away from discussing? I think in the society, in the world, people are careful when they talk about sex. Why is that?
I think it has to do with upbringing and a religious mindset. I said religious, not Christian mindset, you know? Because anything you want to excel in, you must know about it and discuss it. It's not about you. You have a spouse now that has perspectives, has expectations. You must discuss it, and both of you meet at a point that will be comfortable with both of you and grow from that point. Don't just stop there. So I think all that plays a major role.
I also believe that the truth is, it's not that sex is not being discussed. It's discussed more with the world in a different way. Sex is vulgar. The definition of sex is not good enough for what it should be. So I think we can redefine sex.
Yes. But in the marriage setting, it's not about you. It's about pleasuring your spouse. I know how difficult it can be pleasuring one spouse for the rest of your life.
Okay, I remember the first time I met my husband,
You know?
and he proposed to me. I said something to him. I asked him, "How will you pleasure me for the rest of my life?" And he said, "It's going to be easy." I said, "No, I need to know. Because if you don't discuss sex before marriage, in marriage you might carry the burden." And for we counselors, we've realized that one of the highest risk of divorce or indicators of divorce is sex, lack of sex, being satisfied, and how you go about it. Because if one person is enjoying sex and the other is not, it's also a problem. Yeah. So I think
and surprisingly, God never pairs people with the same libido. Imagine if they had the same libido, there won't be any problem. To some extent. So one has a high libido, one has a low libido.
That brings us to the next question. I was even coming there because the question is, how do you deal with couples that one has a higher libido and the other has?
I think I should allow my husband talk about it. Why?
It's a question of understanding. The person with the higher libido has to be a bit understanding to the spouse. It's not as if the spouse is frigid, but just the appetite is not like yours. Take her along or take him or her along. Tell her what pleases her or him, what pleases you. Tell her what can get you to the point where you want, even with her less effort or his or less effort. And the other person too should try and grow up about it. Because if your spouse is not pleasured over a long while, it becomes like a burden, like a walk. and what you do like work, you don't want to keep doing it, because sex is actually supposed to do the other thing around, make pleasure you, relax you if you are tensed, and of course having children, you know. So it's a whole thing. You must work together. Moderation is the key.
I really want to remind us that sex is not a sin, and I want to bring it home. You see, when we got married, both of us assumed that we have the same libido. You don't say I like sex. When you say you like sex, or both of you like sex, doesn't mean that you necessarily like it at the same level. And the person that likes it less or likes it more, nothing is wrong with them. So the first conversation we had when we got married was, we realized that I had a little more libido than my husband. And that destroyed the myth in the marriage. Because some married people say, all men are more, they want sex more. They are like a horse, they can't get satisfied. It's not so. Some women also have higher libido. What you need to discuss as couples is, okay, this is where we are. Whose libido is higher? How can we arrive at a place where both feel satisfied?
Exactly.
So I and my husband had a conversation, I think,
yes.
And we still have that conversation till now.
We review it because our performance is
yes, change. You know, we're getting younger, changes of a lot of things. We're not getting older, younger. So one of the things we agreed was, okay, what makes you comfortable? What makes you feel that sex is okay in marriage? We came to a level of saying 3 times a week works. Now, it doesn't mean that that's the template you should use. You should not ask yourself is, what will work for 2 of us? What will make me happy? And what will make the person happy? And that's what brought us to, sex is an acronym for us. And S is selflessness. So when we agree on something that will make each other pleasurable, I no longer think about my own, how I feel. Yeah. I begin to think of, how will I satisfy the other? So we have an idea that 3 times a week we will meet. It might not be his ideal, it might not be my ideal, but both of us are happy. So we plan it in our planning. Sex is actually planned more often in marriage than not.
Okay. It must be planned.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so what are the key factors that affect sex in marriage? What do you think?
There are a lot of key factors. There are some that naturally have to come when you're married. You know, when you're single, you're not thinking of children. Yeah. You just want, you go on a date. And you've already planned it. So you go out, you dance, you sing. And oh God, the sex. And sex is a sin if you're single. I repeat it again. Yes. Because when you get in there, you will not have the ability to have self-control. And it's needed in marriage, because not every day you will want your spouse will desire you. You know, so it's very important we make that known. Yes, but you know, so you come in, no children, then you have children. You get married, you have children. You want to have sex, and they come knocking, mommy, daddy. She's laughing. I guess you've had that. You know,
you can lose the total libido. And
I remember we actually nearly bought a Puritan for our son, our daughter. It was our daughter, our first child. We gave her Puritan, trying to give her Puritan so that she would sleep.
Calm down.
It didn't help. Yeah. So those are legalistic things that affect sex in marriage. You're pregnant, you have issues sporting, you're you know. So those things, they should be discussed.
And environment also plays a part.
Yes.
Just as you said, if children are there, if it's not a cozy, cool environment,
or you're quarreling,
you're out of a dirty place, you're out of the mood.
Or you're quarreling.
Yes, quarreling is most important.
Yes, so manage your emotions. You can't quarrel with your spouse and then you say, Mama Ngozi, Mama Ngozi.
That's why we say sex starts from the morning. The phone call, the complimenting. She's already planning to come home to come and meet the person that was complimenting. Not in quarrel or, you know, buying some gifts too will help for those that gift is their love language.
Understand each other's love language.
And taking the most advantage.
But I also want to address some things that also affect sex negatively. You know, and unfortunately for the church, we don't dwell on it. See, there are key factors we need to begin to dwell on. And one of them is masturbation. You know, some of us say, we are single, we are not having an affair. Or you have developed masturbation habits and you're already thinking of someone in those thoughts. So when you're now married, you actually don't want to satisfy the person. But remember that the aim of sex is to please another person, not you. And the other person is to satisfy you. Yeah. So when you put masturbation in front, what happens is that you have defeated the aim of what sex
is. Just trying to have pleasure the way you saw it in place or whatever.
Another second one is pornography. Yeah, it does the same thing.
Hand in hand. You see somebody do something, you say, I want to do that. I think you want to do that. You're not even thinking about your spouse.
So what? So the myth we want to destroy here is that masturbation and pornography actually idolize you in sex. But the aim of sex is to honor and idolize the other person. And I'm using that word because it's about the other, not you. That's the beautiful thing, yes. And that's the S in sex.
And trust is another key one. If your spouse, you don't trust your spouse, you always say, go and use a condom, or where are you coming from? You know, there's inhibition already. You're thinking, this man, I don't, or this woman. You know, trust must be there so you can actually be naked and not ashamed.
I remember, you know, because we loved, we have a healthy habit of sex. When we began, we didn't have that, but we worked something that works for us.
And we're still working on it.
I remember when my husband and I had trust issues. You know, he'll be touching me, and I remember those trust issues. I would just stand up. I never knew for someone that had a high libido like me that it would affect how I would deal with sex. But you know the good thing? He didn't ignore it. We conversed, we talked about it till I was able to get to a place to trust him again. So if you're dealing with trust issues, please don't neglect it. Deal with it, talk about it.
Very interesting and very important. Trust.
The biggest gift I can give my spouse is my body. How I give it, just like you serve food. You know, imagine serving food and they take it and just straight. Or your husband or your wife comes and no food at all. You understand? So play it is an honor. Let me tell you, the greatest honor you can give your spouse is to give your body to them in such a way that they are pleasured. My brother, my sister, for speaking tongues born again, I am one. You can as well speak in tongues during that time.
Okay, that's so interesting. Okay, so we've talked about masturbation is a no, pornography, no. And then trust. You need to develop trust with your husband.
Okay. There's another part of it, modality. Some people want to think of anal sex, all those are forbidden, really.
Yes.
And that's why, because
even medically, that damages the anal canal. You see people begin to drip urine, do all kind of things.
Yes.
You know, and it's forbidden. It's generally forbidden.
Unfortunately, you know, that brings what I wanted to actually say, if you don't mind us saying. You know, the S is selflessness, the E is express yourself. That means the pleasures in it. But the X is X-ray what should not be allowed into the bedroom.
Yes.
You must X-ray it, meaning this is a no-no. So when we had a conversation, if it's a fad, doesn't mean that it's right.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we've had women that have come for counseling, their husbands are demanding anal sex. And some of them are actually, we have some people that are struggling with it. Now, anything that reduces you from being a human being shouldn't be brought into the bedroom.
Even if you look at the selflessness part of it, you want to pleasure someone, person saying, I don't like that. What are you trying to do that?
Are you trying to?
What are you doing? Really?
You know,
it's yourself you want to pleasure.
Yes, exactly.
And you're insisting on it.
So we need to also talk about our mindset, and that's why we say pornography is a no-no. So you can have a healthy way of thinking. Foreplay is important. It begins with touching each other, the parts of the body. We tell people when we are talking to them, we tell them, can you indulge in taking a bath together? Touch each other's body as a technique. Don't be ashamed of each other's body. Play with your body, with the other person in mind, so that you know what turns the person on. Sex is a gift from God and should be enjoyed thoroughly.
And for men, men by nature come quicker, in fact, than women. Indulge in a lot of foreplay.
Yes.
I remember when we had some little challenge in that area, we had to do more foreplay to get her really in the mood before,
Yes. So the other
people are satisfied at the end of it.
And he was thinking about me, because every woman has the capacity to have orgasm, and what you have to do is how selfless your spouse, your husband is, will determine the level of pleasure the wife can have. Yes. And Mimi, I want to say thank you.
Thank you. And feel free. The person that knows more or has experienced more sexually should have to teach the other person.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's learning. She did a good job.
Oh dear, Reboso Takababa. Oh,
then I'll just.
Don't be ashamed.
You need to discuss it. Assess even your performance after each.
Yes.
So you can improve. It's not to condemn or So you can really improve.
And that's true. But why is it that couples find it difficult to discuss sex? I really wonder why. They feel, I don't know, are they ashamed to discuss it between themselves? If they are satisfied, is it working? Is it not working? What do you think the issue
Yes, for the men, I think there's an ego thing about it. If a woman tells you, I wasn't satisfied, you feel like, I failed. But it's not like that. There's a sense of assessment so I can improve.
Oh, yes.
And the woman can give you, like she did. She told me about her G-spots and so on, how I can actually get into what will trip her, and that helps me than going in the roving in the blind and you know in the dark and missing it and failing it more. And it has a way of frustrating you. Let's say you meet 4 or 5 times and the woman is not satisfied, and she tells you, you know, you'll be deflated, of course.
Yes.
But that's where the woman has to encourage you and lovingly teach you what will help.
Okay.
And I think that will
And one of the mistakes we all make, I agree with my husband, one of the mistakes we make is I've dated some people, so I'm coming with the idea of, let me tell you, whatever idea you had with other people, this person is unique. This person is unique. So we had to have a conversation together.
Yes.
And the conversation we had was, this is what we desire. And each time we fell short, because as much as I had the higher libido, there were some things that he needed that pleasured him too.
Yeah.
You know, a neat bedroom, wearing sexy lingerie. So those things also helped them. I had to learn certain things, good perfume, you know.
some background music.
You know. So it's not every day we have that.
Yeah.
But it helps to bring the mood.
Variety.
Yes, not every day is missionary style.
But in location and in, you know.
So what are we saying to every couple here? If you're not discussing sex, you are robbing yourself the joy of sex. When last did you discuss sex as a couple? When last were you open to say, we missed it here, can we try this?
When last did your spouse call you a good Mac?
Oh, hey! My prof, how far?
So it's so interesting, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, comment. In short, this is an interesting topic. We want it to be interactive, so drop your comments and we'll actually do a second episode if we get enough good comments or people that want this to share. Okay, so moving forward, that men are unfaithful to their wives. Is it because they're not satisfied at home, or because they just want to explore, or what is the main reason for unfaithfulness in marriage?
I think my husband should be able to buttress if I say something.
I think it's a lack of understanding.
Okay.
It's just like you want to be rich. You know, you have to work, earn money, save, spend care. A lot of processes, not just one process.
Yes.
So when you don't understand the full process, you do half and do the rest out of frustration. But if you understand the main purpose of sex in marriage, which is what is pleasuring the other person, do you think you have the ability to pleasure 10 people in reality?
No.
No. So why do that? It's not even, you're not helping yourself.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you know what it takes to get someone turned on to that extent? If the person's not married to you, you spend so much money, so much time doing what is inimical to you.
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense.
That's
It's
not
lack of
advantageous
understanding.
at all.
Why don't you focus on the one before you that you chose? They didn't force you. I mean, she wasn't forced on you. Then go ahead and do that.
The
It's
truth,
not-
the truth of the matter is, I think my husband, just to buttress what you're saying,
sure.
is that most of the time, couples, men come into marriage that it's okay to cheat. Culture has played a very bad role in this, and they say it's okay to men are attracted. Let me tell you, everybody, both the husband and the wife, we are attracted to the to the opposite sex. The difference is that we choose to value what we have. So the question I'm asking everybody listening or watching is, what value are you placing on that person you call your spouse? And then that value determines what you will say no to, so that I can have a yes here. So each time you are saying yes to your girlfriend, you're saying that the woman at home has no value. Each time you are saying yes to your boyfriend, you're saying that your husband has no value. Everybody comes with myths, things in their marriage. The joy of this is if we place value on each other and on our marriage, remembering that marriage is key. Yes. See, if you have not had sex for 1 year in marriage, your marriage can be annulled. Meaning that with I do and all the yes, what the church counts as marriage, or even in all religions, is the mating, the coming together as one, your body. Have you had sex?
And it's actually a covenant. So imagine having covenant with several people. What are you really doing?
So
transfer of spirits, all manner of things.
So we're asking you, are you going to put value? One of the things I wanted to say, if you don't mind, is one of the things that helped out my husband when we were having issues. Imagine satisfying one person. We've been married for 16 years this year, and having that kind of pleasure. God is important. So let me say, I know that my husband are getting ready to have a little time. You know what I do? I will just say, Holy Spirit, I need your help. Oh. Last time, these positions. Yes.
It's very important.
Anytime you begin to put the Holy Spirit into this, and you understand that it's not a sin, your body begins to open. You know, you begin to experiment in a way that pleases your spouse and pleases God. And that is where I want
And you know,
to
the desire of your spouse changes perception. It can be this today, tomorrow you want something else, and you can't decipher that. So that's why the prayer part, Holy Spirit now, and you just do that and say, so this works like this.
So has our sex life been good?
It's been awesome.
Okay.
So basically, you can see it's a process. So in marriage, improving on your sex life should be like a job where each day you work to make it better. Don't rely on your laurels. Just try, improve, and then if you diversify your sex with different people, you can get the best result.
Oh, yes.
But if you work on it with one person consistently, you keep getting better at it. Okay, so it's been a great time. There's a book written by Ngee and Rich. It's called Two Sides of the Story. I'll put the link in. So please check it out. Go to their website. Check out their page. You will learn a lot. Keeping Marriage Alive initiative. Hope you had fun today. Sure, we have a lot more from where this is coming from. And if I leave them, we can stay here all day. But because of time, we're going to stop here. So guys, hope you had fun. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels. Drop your comments. Like, share it. Do you have any last one?
Keep having sex. There's no sex in heaven, and you can't delegate this. And it's pleasurable, really. So why don't you put yourself in there and do the best for your spouse?
Every time you remember sex, remember this. The S is selflessness. The E is expressing. If you're not expressing your desires to your spouse, you're missing out. The X is X-ray. Remove those things that are negative that will destroy your sex life in marriage. Love you till next time.
Ciao.
Bye.